welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Everybody Eats podcast. It's your host, Bensky Belazaire. We got Edom XP here, and we got a really good episode for you guys today. We have Ace Vane joining us. Thank you very much for joining us on today's episode. Much appreciated.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it. So, some housekeeping items, guys. Make sure you're following us on all platforms. Make sure you're following us on our YouTube channel, Everybody Eats Podcast, on Instagram, everybodyeats.pod, Twitter, EBE Pod. Make sure you're following us on all those platforms. That's where we post our latest snippets, clips, all that good stuff. And we gotta shout out our Black businesses and shout out our man Sosa for these dope Everybody Eats hoodies. So last episode I was wearing them. So we got some really dope gear. So we got some, we got that silk on the inside. Everybody Eats embroidered and all that. So shout outs to Sosa for making them. We'll definitely have some new gear coming out. So right now these are kind of exclusive for us, but we might have these out for the general public soon. So again, we got shout outs to our man Sosa. Edom, anything else?
That's it. I think you covered all the platforms. So
all right, let's do it. All right, so let's get into it. So Ace Vane, again, thank you very much for joining us on today's episode. If you could kind of introduce yourself, where you from, what do you do, and then we'll get the episode rolling.
Well, I'm Ace Vane. I'm originally from Jacksonville, Florida. I now reside in Atlanta, Georgia. I do a few things. I just like to put everything in. If I have to put everything under one title, it'll be just a creator. I write for mostly comedic skits, and I've written for a TV show, and I'm also working on some new projects for TV, and I also do music. So I just have a background in just doing a lot of creative. Well, just being a creator, I just like making dope shit, to be honest.
Yeah, for sure. So, I guess my first question would be, how did all this start? So I know for myself, the first thing first time I found you was on Instagram. I think it was the Tony the Tiger skit that you did. And I think I forgot the NBA player. But
I think it was Ben Simmons.
I think it was Ben Simmons. So
yeah.
It must have been probably by now. It probably been 2019. So that's the first time I found you. It was probably on my Discover page, and I was like, oh my goodness, I was crying. I sent that to Edom. I was like, yo, this dude is a clown. So that's the first time I found you, and then literally I just been following you since. You've been doing, quarantine and the quarantine.
In love with Mary Jane.
Yeah, Mary Jane.
They got the Avengers thing going. I peep. Bensky sent him to me, and then one day I think during you kept popping up over and over my page after you sent on my feed, and then one day I went and found your Instagram because it was I think it was reposted. And then since then, I personally just been following, and then I'm starting to send Bensky videos. This shit is jokes, yo. Everything he says is funny.
Yeah. So that's how I first found you. So that's probably 2019. So how did you get into? How did you get into doing, I guess, your creative process and doing those voiceovers and stuff?
Well, everything started off because I was just trying to market and bring attention to my platform, and I feel like the best way to do that on social media is to do it in a humorous manner. Everybody like to laugh, and no matter what your outlook is on stuff. So, but one thing everybody got in common is we all like to laugh. So I figured that if I could bring people in, hopefully my sense of humor can appeal to a broad audience of people. I can bring them in, and then I can actually funnel them into other things that I'm actually into as far as what my interests are. But what happened is it started as a marketing plan, but it just took on a life of its own and opened up additional doors for me that, I was like, okay, cool. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take advantage of it because it is something I really like doing. So I just kept going from there.
Got it. So what was the first, because I know you said, you do writing, you do this voiceover. So I guess what was the first one?
The first one, man, I started this when Vine was out, but I just stopped. And then as far as this kind of particular content, and I did this other thing called Michael Trap, that got big because of the Shade Room at one point. And then, you know, I just kind of dabbled in it and then like back and forth. But to be like the most consistent I've been has been probably since 2019 when I saw it picking up as much steam as it does now. After that, I saw people were actually liking and enjoying it. And I just kept it rolling from there. And really, that's where I'm at right now. And it just opened up doors. Like I got to write for a TV show called Sherman Showcase that I'm about to write for it again. I actually got a couple studios looking to pick up a pilot from me or start a TV show based on what I come up with. So that's what I'm working on now.
Got it. Eden,
so how'd you figure out, like, you know, did you wake up and that ass fat came out your mouth or something? You started responding, you gotta.
Man, when anything that you see, like, man, all that stuff is off the top of my head when I be doing it, man. I just be running my mouth, to be honest, and that shit just happened, and it just happens, man. Like I said, it's just really having fun and being as ridiculous as I can be, and just trying to see if I can make myself laugh. And if I can do that, then usually I just put it out. Sometimes I don't make myself laugh, but you know, it might appeal to somebody else, and it worked that way too. But man, I just be trying to have fun with it. That's all it is.
Word. So I was gonna ask too, like with the voices, like how do you like discover that you have like that talent? Like, is it just like, again, you just said, like, is it just you like running your mouth and like maybe like when you do like your female voice, you have like your dark, like when you do like a Batman, you kind of have that like
Batman
deep voice, right? Or like that dark Vane, you have that like deep voice. So like, were you just like messing around and you just found it, or is this something that like maybe you was like playing with like your friends or something like that, and they're like, oh snap, like yo, you could do that?
Well, yeah, some voices is just voices that I already make in real life when I'm talking, and then I just know they end up sounding funny usually when I'm mocking somebody. But it's other voices I know because I always just was playing around. I'm just a goofy guy, so I was playing around and find out I could do a voice. Sometimes I don't know I could do a voice till after I do it. Like if I'm imitating, like one time I did Shaq, and I was like, oh shit, that do sound like Shaq, and I was like, I didn't know I could do that until after I did it. So like sometimes it worked like that. So I just be playing around, and then sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Like I ain't like the best impressionist. It's just some like I discover something I can do, and I be like, oh, okay, cool, that sounded good, and then I just roll with it. And then sometimes like the original voice is just stuff I've always been goofing off with, and just building the characters around. Like I know if a character go react a certain way, I know they probably need to have this voice because I'm really just building that character up to transition into a real vessel for a TV show. That's why you hear certain voices over and over again, because I know they popular, but I'm actually doing work while I'm doing those kind of voiceovers with the same exact voice.
Got it.
So in some of your skits, you have like, sorry,
go ahead.
You have a lot of characters going on. So do you ever like you said, it's a lot of the top of your head. So do you ever actually like write a general script down and then you freestyle at a point, or is it all completely just keep them going as you're editing?
Nah, it's all off the top of the head. I do it while I'm editing. I do it all at the same time. I feel like if I sat down and wrote that particularly, it'll slow the process down, and it also make it less natural as far as the delivery. So I always try to keep it organic and off the top of the head, and just do it as I go. And I mean, just writing it down, it just really for me, it'll slow down the process and it'll make it too rehearsed.
So wait, so are you saying that like, is it one take, or it's like as you're watching the video? Because also what I noticed, like, for example, like when you do DC, right, it's not like it's just straight scenes. Like I noticed that like you kind of cut it. So like, are you kind of like, do you watch something, cut it up, then choose, right, and then it's like straight off the top, or like, I guess I'm kind of just like digging into that creative process here.
Yeah. It's well, it's actually a little bit chaotic. It really depends on me that day, I guess. But most of the time, the process is I get I might have like one, like this is a good example. Like I might have one thing I want to do because I might have seen a clip and I thought something was funny in it. So I just want to get to this one part to tell this one joke that nobody might not even pay attention to. But to get to that part, I got to build a whole thing around that to get there. So like a good example is it's this one thing I did when Aquaman come out the pool and he laughing, and it's the smallest part of the video, but I had to build everything to get to that one part, and it's just me like that is just me like really just cutting it up and going as I'm doing it. Like I ain't have no outline or nothing. I just cut it up and start going, and it's all off the top, and then I just get to that one little joke for me, and then the rest of it is what everybody else pay attention to. So, but yeah, like it really like it can, the process can deviate from that to just I have an outline of something I want to do or say in my head, but I gotta find like a clip that matches it, and then when I find something that could work, then I really just go from there, and I always edit it while I'm recording at the same time.
Got it. Nah, that's dope. So, and then from start to finish, that's all you, from finding the clip, editing, voiceover, putting it out.
Yeah.
That's all one man show.
Yeah, that's all me. And like if I do features, like if you see like a feature on there, then like it's additional stuff. Like I record the scene just like I would do it if I'm finna drop it, then I send it to them and say, hey, this is your part. And you can do any additional ad libs you want to, especially like if you got somebody that is funny. You ain't gonna try to box them in. So I just say, hey, do whatever you want, but this is around what I want them to say, and then they'll send me their part back, and then I just edit that into what I already had and make it fit.
That's real dope. That's real dope.
One man TV studio, yo. That's dope. That's dope.
Yeah, appreciate it.
I never heard of anybody who like actually does all that like on their own, especially on the fly. Like, I mean, to you at this point, it must be so natural, but it sounds like such a like while you're working, you must got like steam going out your ears or some shit. Like,
yeah, sometimes things take a little bit more of a like. Sometimes if I'm just having fun, but sometimes like if I know I just need to get something out, like. Especially when you like continuing in a story, you want the story to still be quality and match up to what people follow on, like the In Love with Mary Jane. You know what I'm saying? It's still goofing out, but you still want to be. Still got to try to be consistent with the main story, because that's why people watching it. And at the same time, like I'm just trying to fill it with laughs in the middle. So I trying to keep up with the making sure you got the everything lined up how it's supposed to go. You know what I'm saying? That could get tedious, but not that. It don't even be that bad, to be honest. But that's the most effort I probably put in is if I'm telling like a linear story like that.
For sure. So one thing I also I respect is also like that consistency. So like as a creative, I know just like anytime you want to build a brand, business, or whatever, you know what I'm saying, and build a page, you have to like the key is to be consistent so people can see you. So if you can kind of like speak on that, like I guess like the importance of it, and maybe some like trouble, like not everything's always easy, right? So there's going to be ups and downs and some trouble. So I guess if you could kind of speak about that, like the importance of consistency and maybe like your journey with like making sure like like always having something like coming out and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, consistency is a real big part of anything that you're trying to build, as far as especially business or any kind of a brand. I always look at it like the gym. Like if you go to the gym one day, you might get a good ass workout, but if you don't go back the next day and the day after, you know what I'm saying, those results don't mean nothing because you're not continuing to exercise and get those muscles work. So you're gonna be in you're gonna keep staying in square one, and you're gonna keep starting over because you're taking too much of a break. So once you start, you just gotta keep going as hard as you can to keep working those muscles out, and you get stronger as time goes on. But yeah, that's the main thing about a lot of stuff is I mean, like quality is always good, but if you consistency is always going to be a huge major force. Like I've seen people drop things that are amazing quality, but you'll see somebody who just who's working circles around that person who might drop something. Let's say if you got an artist who drops something once every 3 years, but you got somebody who's an artist that drops something almost every year on the dot. You know what I'm saying? That person is going to continue to elevate to the next plateau, while this artist still will elevate, but they're not going to do it as rapidly as the other person who continues to be in your face and making sure you know they're here. Unless you just horrible at what you're doing.
Yeah. Sure. So I'm kind of curious, like, what would you say is maybe like the hardest skit, or maybe like what was one that maybe gave you like the most trouble doing? Because I know you have so much out, so I'm kind of curious, like, what would you say is the one I was like, dang, like this one gave me so much trouble, or something like that?
Nothing. I don't think I've taken on nothing that has given me trouble as far as like any skits. I think the biggest project that actually would that I know I'm putting a lot of effort into it, because I don't want it to be something that's just that come out and it be a lot of hype and then it fall flat, is the actual show I'm pitching. Because I mean, I could have had the stuff sent off to networks and stuff, and we could have been already in the works with stuff, but I want to make sure it actually is something that's go stay true to me and actually be something that can go to the next level, versus just being something that happened and it's fly by night and be like, oh yeah, that happened, and then you just move on. But yeah, that's I mean, that part is hard, because like that's building, like it's a lot of writing. You got to build characters, you got to build a world and stuff. So I mean, that is more challenging. But when I'm like doing the skits and stuff, I don't think I've come across anything that some things take longer. Because I mean, like, of course, longer skits gonna be more time, but it's never been nothing to where it's been like, oh, this is too hard and nothing like that. I ain't never run across that yet.
Got it. Understood. Edom?
So speaking of shows, like, you want to talk on how you got involved with All Over the Place and I guess the team around that? Because I've been watching,
yes.
Jokes are really funny. So especially the Batman interview you did and Static Shock. So.
Yeah, All Over the Place is a collaborative thing. I'm working on with Justin. Me and Justin actually been cool for a while now, and we actually got like similar goals. And Justin Richburg, who's the artist, he did like the Childish Gambino video and stuff. He did a lot of other stuff too, but that's like probably one of the most popular things he's done so far. But he definitely is like a true artist, and like I just like working with him, and we just be bouncing ideas back and forth. And he came up with the ideas, hey, like, why don't we do like a skit show that's like animated in living color? And I was like, that's genius, I like it. And then him and a few other people, he got involved. I mean, it's just a fun thing to work on. Right now, we gonna drop one more episode of that, and we gonna come back to it later. But he got projects he got to focus on. I got some, and then we got something we want to focus on together. So we gonna make sure we focus on those. But All Over the Place, that's something we definitely want to continue and keep building on that too, because it's just fun to do. But yeah, like me and Justin, like this, we just be goofing off, man. It's just like a lot of ideas we just try to bring to life. Like if he got like an idea, then it'd be like, all right, cool. He'll send me like the outline, and then I just fill in the holes. Or if I have an idea, he'll draw up the pictures, and then he'll send it to me. I'll record it, then he'll go take it back and then he'll animate it. So that's how that started. That's how we built on that.
Oh, that's real dope. That's real. He did the Feels Like Summer video, because I know the animations are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's him. Yeah.
That's dope. Actually.
Yeah. He did.
I also like how
he actually did a Janae Aiko video too.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's one that just came out. I don't know what the name of the song is. It's one with Janae and her.
I think I know the song. I know the song. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. I was gonna say also, I like how not like, I guess, you know, obviously you do a lot, but pretty much like how you like the voiceovers, and then also like the little songs that you have in like the Sprite hit different in a water cup. Like I remember the first time I was like, there's no way like this is actually legit. And I was like, yo, you actually put like ringtones and like put on iTunes. I was like, yo, this is not funny. But just like I did, just like seeing you just like kind of just like taking either little jokes or something like that and actually like making them like legit. I was like, yo, this is real. Like I really like this guy. Like I really like, you know, that creative mindset and stuff like that. So
yeah. Yeah, I like to try to make the content kind of 3D to where it feel like you involved with it too. Like everybody is in on like a huge inside joke, or like a just like you can interact with it. I think that's I always think that's cool. Like I always like watching like shows and stuff where you or being involved with stuff where you feel like you involved with it for real. So like that's why I always try to. Anytime I get an opportunity to do that, then I always try to bring stuff like that to life.
All right.
You got Black Lightning as the only voice of reason on his quarantine series. Every other day he's saying, I hate it here, bro.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. The little, you know, you kind of look for that every time he's there. So it's real funny. Or Batman, you know, not trying to be the wallet of the group, or the little joke he got off the lag going. So I fuck with that.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Would you say or like pretty much like what would you say is like your biggest influence into getting into this? Because me personally, I guess like when I seen your content, I guess like the first thing that kind of came to my head was like Boondocks, like that type of, you know, like joking and that type of thing. But I'm kind of curious, like, would you say that maybe you've had like a specific influence or influencers, or is it kind of just something like you said, you just kind of just woke up and kind of like ran with it?
Well, yeah, I could say I woke up and ran with it, but we all know like everybody, every day we getting inspired by something. So it'll be like a plethora of things. Like just through life, I always been a goofy guy. I always like watching. I always like cartoons. I always had an extremely geeky, nerdy side, like as far as superheroes and stuff. So I mean, like it all kind of like falls together. Like when I was younger, probably one of my favorite shows is South Park when I was younger. Of course, I like Family Guy. Of course, I love Boondocks just because of what it represents. Because we never got to see nothing like that before. So I mean, like it opened door. Now I think my sense of humor sometimes a little bit different from theirs, but I love Boondocks for what it represents and how and because we just never got to see nothing like that before. It's not too many Black animated shows, and that, and also like I mean I rarely watch anything that's not comedy unless it's like something like superhero wise. I don't really even go to the movies unless like a new Avengers coming out or something related to that.
Yeah,
like I be trying to go watch other stuff. Like I'll go watch like like some Jordan Peele stuff, or really like I'll go watch other stuff, but I don't be wanting to watch other stuff. Like or if it's like some a Judd Apatow movie or something like that, and I go watch that. But if it like I don't be trying to see everything just because they be dropping shit in the movies, so it's hard for me to go. But yeah, I mean it's a lot of different things.
For sure. Would you say that you have a favorite skit that you've done so far, or video?
Man, favorite skit. I think the ones I like doing, like I don't got no favorite ones. It really kind of like it kind of like rotates as far as how I'm feeling, as far as like what kind of goofy I want to be that day or something. But the ones I actually like, the ones I always watch, like if I watch back because if I'm watching it back to see if I'm finna mess with it again or something like that, I like doing the Rocky and Bullwinkles a lot. Like those are always fun to do. But I always want to make sure the story on point with it because I like it to make sense. But really, the Rocky and Bullwinkle, I'm trying to develop like an original web series based around that. It's this real early process, so I don't know when or where, but it's just I'm trying to figure out like develop something in that theme, not of course not those characters, but something like with the kind of same setup, but just switching the characters over. So with the same kind of outline and everything. But that's really early stages as far as one of the things I want to do. But yeah, I like doing the Rocky and Bullwinkles. I like, of course, I like quarantine. I mean, I really like everything. I like doing the Mary Janes. It's just really having fun. I like whatever I feel like doing it. That's why I don't ever try to like make it work as far as like doing it as work, because then if I take the fun out of it, it ain't gonna be funny. It's just gonna be a chore.
Yeah, for sure. It has to come naturally. It has to be something that you enjoy doing, and then it feels natural.
Exactly.
It feels better. For sure.
Exactly.
I love all my kids equally.
For sure. So one thing we always ask our guests, especially those with with brands, is what is their conceited goal? So meaning like if you could, like what is one goal that you could say that you would say that you want to achieve or you want to get for your business or your brand, right? So anything but grow the business or grow the brand, because that's just too basic, right? So if you could achieve like a specific goal or get a specific award or do this specific thing, like what would you say is that one conceited goal that you want to achieve for your brand?
My brand, I would like to eventually become like a production company to where I can get not only my content out, but other content from other artists that I believe in, that I think can be put on a platform and actually just start pushing more help artists like myself come out. And I ain't just talking about just music or nothing. I'm talking about like all kinds of content, like podcasts, everything with or TV shows, stuff. I want to develop stuff and just start start getting it out there to, all these networks. Because it's a lot of money we haven't been able to, we're just discovering that we can tap into. And it's actually like it's easier to get involved with stuff than a lot of people think. It's really just about building that brand and being consistent. So my end game is to get a production company to where I have the bridge where I can bring stuff over and put stuff out myself.
For sure.
Artists and myself.
Ace Vane Productions.
Yeah.
It's coming.
Something like that.
Soon come.
Yeah.
That's what dope.
Yeah.
Hey, I definitely see it in the future. Like it's great content. Like it sticks. I enjoy it. I know other people like myself enjoy it. So I think it's just a matter of time.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's just some work. That's all it is.
For sure. All right. So before we wrap up this segment, Edom, any final questions?
Nah, I got a few for the next segment, so we good.
All right, bet. So we'll save it. All right, so that wraps up the first segment. Wrapping up that quick interview with Ace Vane. All right, so now we'll go into the quote of the day. So for the quote of the day, Edom will say a quote. We'll try and guess who the quote is from, and then we'll just give our interpretation of it. So Edom, when you're ready, let's do it.
I got nothing funny. I was really looking for a funny one, but so the quote is, you will fail at something in your life. Accept it. You will lose. You will embarrass yourself. You will suck at something.
That sounds like a Denzel Washington graduation speech I saw the other day.
Oh, I almost wanted to say Will Smith.
Nah, he said it word for word, bro. He said Denzel Washington.
For real?
Graduation.
Denzel?
Oh, okay. That's crazy.
Literally, word for word, Denzel Washington.
That's crazy.
That's really what I got. Right. Denzel Washington during a graduation speech.
Oh, that's crazy. I for real saw that on my timeline the other day. Like, that's not even.
I've had that video saved in my phone for like I want to say 5 years now. So I kind of like look to it here and there, just to remind myself, you take some L's, you bound to. You're not alone. Everybody taking some L's. People slept on the floors before. People. You gotta. People been through some shit too. So it's not just you.
Mm-hmm. Nah, definitely. I think later in that speech, I think that he talks about like if you're gonna fall forward. I think he says that in that speech, like, you know, pretty much if like, yeah, like I said, everyone's gonna take some L's, but like if you're gonna suck at something, if you're gonna take an L, like make sure you're still making progress within it, you know. So, you know, definitely we've seen doing this podcast has been almost like a year and a half, like, you know, some joints have gone really well, some things have, like, you know, not gone so well, but we can always say that there's always been some sort of progress, always learn something, you know what I'm saying? So there's always been, you know, even in our L's, we're still like leveling up to some extent, you know. So
exactly.
It's a blessing. You gotta take the crookeds with the straights or whatever. That's another Denzel quote, I think, from Fences. You gotta take the crookeds with the straights. But you know, always gotta be moving forward when you can. So
yeah, absolutely. I think what he's saying is extremely important, because a lot of people are so scared of losing, they don't do anything, so they don't never know. You ain't gonna never get to winning because you never tried. So that's a big thing. Like, a lot of people don't try, so because they scared to lose. Just like it might be a dude might be scared to talk to girls, but if you don't never ever talk to girls, you never go talk to girls. So you got to be able to get that no, so you can get that yes one day. That's how I look at it. Yeah.
You gotta keep that. It goes back to consistency too, like you said. So
yeah,
unless you're bad at it.
You can't be scared. You ain't gonna know if you bad unless you try. That's exactly. So, like, yeah, like if you bad at it, like you gotta find out. You might be good at it.
That's a fact.
So, that's real.
For real. All right. So if you could say that quote one last time before we wrap up this segment.
All right. So the quote is, you will fail at something in your life, accept it. You will lose, you will embarrass yourself, you will suck at something.
Oh, for sure. You just gotta figure it out and then just keep on trying, bro. Something will stick.
Damn.
All right.
That's real.
So I have a question to kick off this, last section for you. So I know you have Affion Crockett as a feature, like a consistent feature, I'd say at this point. I remember watching a show years back, the Affion Crockett show. I think it was on Fox, like after Family Guy. But how'd you build that connection? Yeah, how'd you build that connection? How did that come about? You don't mind sharing?
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, Affion, that's the homie. Like, he actually, like, him and a couple other people that I've spoken to that's in the industry, like they actually are teaching me the ropes and mentoring me, then grooming me to go to the next level with that stuff. Affion is somebody, he's actually helping me develop what I'm developing, because he's going to be involved. But I met him online. Like, it's everybody who you see me work with has I've been fortunate enough to be discovered just from them on on their Instagram or somewhere online, and then I've been fortunate enough to them to find me entertaining enough for them to reach out, and it always grows from there. Like, we just go back and forth, and then, like, most of the time, they end up saying, "Hey, man, let me get on one of these skits." I think the first person who asked me, it really what opened the floodgates for that, was Trade Truth. He said, "Man, let me get on one of these skits real quick," and then I was like, "All right, cool, hell yeah." Then we did that, and then after that, everybody that I was already chopping it up with was like, "Hey, what the hell put me on one?" So, hey, so after that, I was like, "Hell yeah, let's do it." So we just started having fun from there. And Affion, he's one of the people like that pushed me. He's like, "Yeah, man, you'll be a dope writer for a show, but you need to get your own show." So he one of the people that, him and Robert Townsend, they two of the people that like keep pushing me to make sure I'm focused on that.
So how did that feel? Like, homie. Oh, sorry.
But you good. I wasn't saying that.
But how did that feel from your aspect? Like, a lot of people say, I'm not sure if you ever looked up to him growing up or anything, but a lot of people say, meeting your idols or somebody you look up to is kind of like real. You probably, like, I wouldn't say you might hate it. In your case, you probably don't. But how was that experience for you when you first, got that DM or whatever it was?
It's always surreal. And what I learned, because early on, like early when you first start getting it, you like, oh shit, like this can't be that person for real, but it is them. And it really don't you really don't ever, you know what I'm saying? Like you really don't ever like get all the way over it. It's always gonna be like this shit crazy in your head somewhere because like especially like every time I talk to Robert Townsend, because I've been watching him since I was little, like on a bunch of other stuff. And he done produced so many people, and he's involved with so many like legendary comedians, and he a legend himself. Like it's always gonna be in the back of my brain that this motherfucker think I'm funny. That's crazy as shit. Cause he think like this motherfucker produced you think he produced like one of Eddie Murphy's comedy specials. So every time like I talk to him and he's talking about how he thinks I'm funny, I'm like, ain't no way in hell like you think I'm this fucking funny if you've been around these motherfuckers and you've done this and all this shit. Cause he's been around like all the super goats like Robin Williams, Robin Harris, Keenan Ivory Wayans, like they like those are his that's his peer group. So like it's just fucking it's always surreal. Afion like he just like that motherfucker. He just like he's like on another level and he's still leveling up. But for me to have seen or watched him on all the stuff he's been in, and for somebody that talented to be interested in what the fuck I'm doing is still it's surreal too. Like it be because I'm like I think I'm a humble person. So like when people like that and like Leslie Jones, like when people say like you're fucking funny and shit, and they be on that level, it always fucking blow my mind. And like I said, I haven't met nobody yet that I've looked up to that ain't cool as fuck yet. I actually haven't encountered. I'm fortunate enough. I know that saying because I always be thinking it's gonna be like that, but I'm fortunate enough to not have experienced that yet. So I hope it stay like that with more people I meet.
That's what's up. That's what's up. I mean, you always mention. I know your fans at this point know not what to do to piss you off when they meet you out in public or nothing like that. I've popping on some of his lives, you know. He just be talking about, you know, don't creep me on some creepy shit, you know.
Nah, I'm just saying I just be playing around, man. I'm just an awkward ass motherfucker in real life. So like I'm not gonna always have the fucking the like I have a delayed response to some shit sometimes, like, and I don't be high and I don't be drunk or nothing like that. I just be fucking delayed sometimes. I don't be knowing what the fuck going on. But yeah, like the other thing is that like, you know, I just be like I'll clap back, but I'm never really mad online about none of this shit. Cause people gonna say shit, whatever, but I'm not mad for real. I'm just be having fun. But some people will take it the wrong way, and I can't play with people no more because I didn't know people knew who I was when I was going outside. Like it's still I'm still getting used to that shit. And the other thing is that people will know me before I know them. And I done clapped at some motherfucker that done took it the wrong way, and now it's an issue because they they holding on to a grudge about some shit, and then you know everybody always looking for a viral moment and shit. So I don't know, but it's definitely like man, I like it's yeah. I mean I'm like I'm a chill ass dude. Like I don't like if you see me in person, like it ain't shit. Like we can chop it up, ain't shit. Just don't don't like I just be being cautious. That's all it is. But I'm pretty cool. Like I met somebody yesterday that we cool as fuck now. He gave me a big ass discount on some shit.
I'll be back for more.
Yeah.
I'm weak.
I mean, that goes to something, you know, Dave Chappelle said, everybody's too damn sensitive nowadays. Like, they don't know how to make a light of certain issues and stuff, which is why I personally really love, you know, Dave Chappelle as a person and comedian at this point, because he's really not afraid to speak on some shit and say, like, you know, y'all might be afraid to stand against, you know, X, Y, and Z movement or speak on, you know, a certain political movement, but, you know, fuck it, yo. He came from, you know, being called crazy, you know, almost like a decade ago or something, and you know, now he's just chilling. You can't touch him no more. He lost everything. at that point. So
Nah, for real. At this point, that's his
real.
brand. That's what he's known for. So he has absolutely nothing to lose.
Yeah, that's absolutely real. Dave Chappelle is a fucking legend, and he gonna continue to make waves and really like and the thing is he don't be just standing for just random shit. He be standing for the right shit. Like he
Yeah,
be saying some
100%.
real shit. Like it don't be no like no fucking he not finna go on stage and stand on like he'll make a joke about people wearing masks, but he ain't finna go there and complain about like why you shouldn't wear a mask or some shit or fucking get on there and complain that he couldn't get a haircut or some stupid shit like that. Because people be having all these stupid ass causes sometimes. Like, and it be real shit going on out here that people be dying and shit, and motherfuckers be mad because I fucking don't even know about the stupidest little shit. So, but yeah, I respect him because he always standing for the what's real, the true inspiration. Yeah.
Do you have any advice for people who may be trying to get into or anybody maybe in like up and coming comedians, maybe they do voiceovers? Because I follow a couple people who do like voiceovers. You think of like I Am Dulo, that Nigerian brother. I'm not sure if he's out of California or Texas, but he does a bunch.
I think he's Atlanta.
Atlanta. I Am Dulo.
I think so.
Oh, really?
I think so.
Maybe, but I know he's mad funny. Tony Baker, he does a bunch of like voiceover videos too. But those people I guess those are more big, so what you might call it, not necessarily up and coming. But for anyone who is maybe like up and coming, like would you have any advice for them?
Yeah, up and coming, man, like we in the age of can't nobody stop you from doing anything. It's really up to you. You decide your success. Like back in the day, a lot of the people that you see that come up off of the internet, they would have had to go through a whole other strenuous process to get any kind of exposure or to do like it's a whole. The world is really right in front of you. Like if you got your phone, you got a computer, you got a laptop. You just got to start putting the shit out. Like even if you think, oh, I don't like the quality of how it is, just put it out. Just start. If you don't start, you ain't gonna. Just go back to that quote we was talking about earlier. You can't be scared to be trash. You can't be scared to suck. You just got to start, and you got to be consistent and be yourself. Like a lot of people come out and try to replicate something that it's one thing to be inspired, but when you try to replicate something, I mean, these people gonna see through that, and you're not gonna be able to be consistent because it's not you, and you don't know how to be somebody else. You can only be yourself. So be yourself. Just start. If you got an idea, just do it. Don't think about it too much. Just start doing it. If it work, and then build on it. If it don't work, then you go back to the drawing board and figure out why it didn't work, and then keep trying. But you gotta like the internet is a true monster. So it's no reason for nobody to not be trying anything. So
no, for sure.
Real talk, that's
for sure. We appreciate that. Yo, we had Mouse Jones on here a couple months back, and he said something real similar. He was like, it's one thing to be inspired by somebody, and it's another thing to copy somebody. You know, that's actually one of the clips that we put. And that's real because even with the podcast, like even though it was like when we started off, I still one of my biggest inspirations was Earn Your Leisure. They're two brothers, their podcast out of New York, right? So me and myself, I was like, yo, two brothers out of New York. We're from New York, you know what I'm saying? Business podcasts, interviewing people. So like in the beginning, everything was like, for me it was like, yo, what can I do to be like them? What can I do to be like them, right? And it kind of worked to an extent because of like a lot of the interests lined up. But then after a while, it's like, it has to be us, like I can only replicate or try and be like them so far, but before it's like, oh, it's not the same thing. Before it's like, I'm not blowing up like them. Why am I not getting the same guests as them? You know what I'm saying? So like, it has to be us. It has to be, it has to be real. And you see that even with the guests, like Earn Your Leisure, they're more like strictly business, but like we have creatives on here, and that's something that kind of separates us a little bit. Because for example, right, we have more like creatives, we have actors, we had Jonas Cruzado from Sneakerheads, right? So it's like
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so it's just having even those like having those guests and stuff, like it makes it real, makes it you. And like you said, like it just makes it more natural. Like you said, like when you're doing a skit, instead of having to like write it down and making it feel like work, you know, when you're doing it, like when it really comes from you, it feels real, you know, and it's like you don't mind doing it, or you don't mind, you know, the process, and like, you know, a lot of that stress that, you know, comes with doing the work, you kind of just like brush it to the side because it's from the heart.
Yeah, it's real. It's absolutely real. And like I said, even with like I said, because you said you were inspired by another podcast, taking what they had and starting off, making that your foundation, that's absolutely perfect. But once you build, like, because you built the house, now you moving your own furniture in and you decorating the insides the way you want it though. So that's what makes it you. So like you definitely always it's just when people try to like literally try to be in the, I guess the best thing, I always use music analogies because I see it happen in music the most. Like people, you'll see like one hot rapper, and then you'll see it happens every era of rap. Every rapper starts sounding like that rapper right afterwards. Like, because it's because they're trying to replicate that person's success versus like taking inspiration and turning it into something new. And then I mean eventually you'll get somebody who does take the inspiration and turn it into something new. But it's a lot of people that are just take it and they just trying to do this. You literally trying to make the same song over again or try to be that same person, but you can't do that. But yeah, you definitely right. Mm-hmm.
I say, A-Boogie got a lot of sons.
Nah, for real. Yeah. For real. Nah, man, that's really dope. You have any more questions on your end?
I got two things I kind of want to just see. Like, I got three actually. Wow. But so you talked about or you posted a skit up on your, I mean not a skit, a snippet of another podcast you did, and you talked about the diversification of like animated characters. So you know, you brought up the Boondocks before, and how before we never really seen anything like that, and I think honestly after that we still never seen anything like that, you know.
Correct.
Like how do you feel going into that? So I know you work with a lot of, you know, your characters. There are some characters that, you know, if they were black, you know, they would be black. Like, you know, Martian Manhunter, I'm sure we all think he's black, you know? Like, Dragon Ball Z, Piccolo is definitely black.
Yeah.
And just like, you know, other you guys mentioned G.I. Joe. Like I that was before my time, or I never really watched it, but how do you feel about that? You know, I saw the video of it was I know exactly what the Captain Planet one where you're roasting him. You said he looks like that guy, except with you know, X, Y, and Z, different haircut and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
And just the other day, I was watching Shaman King, and they had the one black character, and he had the purple lip thing going. I was like, oh no!
I don't know why they still doing that. That's so ridiculous. That they still drawing characters like that. I mean, they know what they're doing when they do that too. But yeah, man, I feel like we could, like, I know it's I'm saying that, and we need diversity because we absolutely do. Because I want the kids of tomorrow to be able to watch cartoons and understand that every main character ain't just like a little blonde, blue-eyed white boy named Jack or something. Like, it's all like, and then secondary, it's he might have a black friend. Second, you know what I'm saying? It needs to be more diversity. It just needs to be like, oh, this person could be anybody. Once we start seeing that kind of stuff, like in all content, then more people would want to grow up because they get inspired to do other things. Like, oh, I don't have to like, because we, like, a lot of our generation, we grew up on hip hop, and hip hop is our lifestyle. But like we think like if we just was to watch TV, the only time we're predominant is when they're talking about sports or hip hop. That's why you get so many people passionate about those two different lanes. But you don't get to see somebody. You don't get to see a bunch of black lawyers, or you don't get to see a bunch of black doctors. You don't see a predominant cast of ER that's all like black and stuff. So I mean, like, you never know who you could trigger if you put more content out that people get entertained by. Like, imagine if they did a Doogie Howser, that's an old ass show about a young guy who become a doctor, like when he like a teenager or some shit. But imagine if that character was black. That was Neil Patrick Harris' first show. So I mean, like, it's just shit like that. Like, it's all kinds of like cartoons. Definitely, I know when I was growing up, it's always the same cartoons. They always design the same characters. It's like the cool guy was always a little blonde white boy, and then he might have a black friend if we lucky.
Yeah.
And then they always draw him the same way. Like, it's so many different versions of black people and us. Like, we got so many different versions of us that we deserve to have more representation. That's how I feel about it. Like I said, the Boondocks was Boondocks extremely successful cartoon. It was nowhere near a flop. They had to stop making it. Like, and they bringing it back again, but the dude who created it had to literally stop making it because he didn't feel like it right then. But that show would still be on right now if he kept making it, if he wanted to, because it's such a huge impact. So it's not like the audience isn't there. It's just like they need to start greenlighting more stuff, and we and more content creators and more people who are creatives and have that those stories to write, or who are getting into the industry, we gotta look at it more like, okay, we gotta put more of us on the screen, and it ain't just like, okay, we forget everybody else, but I mean, we do gotta start representing ourselves too. Like, once we get in there, and that's why I'm excited about the way everything's turning, because it's a whole renaissance coming of Black creators that's on the way. It's just the beginning. Like, I can see it coming. It's like it's like the water pulling back from the shore, and it's about to be a tsunami.
Yeah. For real. And kind of like what you said, kind of like going back to, like, the internet is a monster. This is a unique time where it's like, before growing up, I feel like if you wanted like a prominent cartoon before the internet, you had to go through a productions company. You had to go through the official route, and that's not easy. You know what I'm saying? But like now with the internet, literally all you need, like you said, all you need is your phone, or you need, maybe a couple of softwares or something like that. But like nothing is stopping you from, like, if you have that talent to, to create voice and do all that stuff, nothing's stopping you from putting that out. You know what I'm saying? You just need, obviously, you just need the talent, but like, you don't have to get permission from no production. You have to get permission from Hollywood. You don't have to get permission from nobody else to put that type of content out there. All you need is honestly the talent and the skill set. And there are plenty of people out there who have the talent and who do have the skill set. You know what I'm saying? They just need maybe like the platform, but like, again, with social media, you have the ability to kind of build your own audience and build your own platform and kind of do it yourself.
Exactly.
So I think that's definitely, a benefit and a unique piece of, today's day and age with the internet, Instagram, Twitter, even TikTok. You know what I'm saying? Like, TikTok is blowing up. Like, people, doing all of that. So, yeah, I guess it's just people's like seeing that, like realizing they don't need permission, you know what I'm saying? And like getting like there, doing that.
Yeah, absolutely right. Permission to me sometimes could be a poison, because people still waiting on, like, it's really people just waiting on validation. But you could put stuff out yourself, and if you build it, that people like, it's an old movie, Field of Dreams. They say you build it, they will come. Build it, people go. If people go start coming, that's it. So you just got to start doing it. A lot of, like, it ain't really even no secret. Like, like I always say, people go to school and stuff and do all, like, it's I commend all that, because they trying to perfect their craft, but don't get caught up so much into the old ways of what they teach you to not be able to see the future. Because those people, a lot of times people be teaching you stuff, they not out here doing stuff no more. They just like teaching you what they knew. Like, as far as like say, for example, somebody go to film school, they go teach you everything they know, but they might not know shit about the internet. So they ain't gonna tell you, like, yeah, make a movie and put it online and it'll fuck around, go viral. Will Smith will fucking come and co-sign it, and then you got to show on HBO. That's what happened to the dude who did the little realistic Fresh Prince. You seen that a couple years ago? The dude did it was a dude who did like a trailer for Fresh Prince if it was a drama. And it went viral. Will Smith got it, and they actually making it a real show on HBO now.
Oh snap! No, I didn't see that. I gotta check it out.
I mean, yeah. See, like, it should be just like that. You just gotta do it and make sure it's dope. You never know who the hell go discover you. That's it.
That's just, look at that right there. And you too, you're a perfect example of that, you know, like go viral every other day, depending on, you know, the current event things you might do. So
yeah. It's just it's like I said, it's just putting the shit out and then moving on and then going to the next thing. But staying consistent, like I said.
Yeah, exactly. But my last question, and is for anybody, but with this being like the age of the internet, would you say stand up is slowly dying? Like people like Cat Williams, Kevin Hart, Dave Chappelle, even Trevor Noah's done a few, just to name a few. But would you say people actually going to go do stand up and make it big off just that is outdated or dying as a art form?
Oh no, I don't think that's ever gonna die. I think some things are always gonna be around, like but I think stand up is a true art that I mean even if it's not predominant as it may have been previously, it's never gonna go nowhere because it's nothing like people just like going to like those people who got them crafts mastered like a Cat Williams or anybody like that. They always like it's always gonna be a place for them. And I mean, even like you got online comedians who build their name online and then go and into the stand-up world. Just like I got a homeboy, Ryan Davis. That's exactly what he's doing. And like I said, it's he built this whole name online and then he took his act onto the stage. And you know what I'm saying? That's like it's just more to me. It's just more avenues. I think it's just gonna get more. You're gonna have more access to different versions of comedy, but I don't think none of them are gonna destroy the other one. It's like it's different versions of hip hop, but I don't think just because like if you got a Lil Uzi and somebody might be like, oh, I don't listen to Lil Uzi. I listen to Biggie, but they both in the same tree. They just two different deliveries on out of the same off the same tree, two different branches. I mean, but I don't think one negates the other.
Where I feel like people always want to be entertained like in person, you know what I'm saying? So I think like you said, I think it may not be necessarily as popular because there are more options now, like internet comedians, like now that's a thing. Like, you know, Vine wasn't always a thing, you know, before Vine, you know, went away, but like TikTok and stuff, like doing skits, like, you know, those weren't an option before. But I think people will always want to just the vibe of being entertained in person. You know what I'm saying? Like that will always be like since the beginning of time, bro. Like that's why we've had jesters and, you know, jokers, you know what I'm saying? Like that's always been a thing. So I think that will always be, you know, just like a form, like you said, like that'll just always be a lane. But yeah, now like I think there's just more options where people can get their laughs from and stuff. Would you ever want to get into stand-up?
I've been told I should try it, but I mean, like I don't never want to do nothing just because it's I don't never necessarily want to do something just because it's available. I would if and when I do it, it's because okay, I really want to do it, but it ain't just gonna be because it's there because I feel like with any kind of creativity, you got to have a passion for it, and it need to be that need to be the driving force for it to be quality or good. Like I don't want to just do it because I know like it's a real art to that. Like people do a lot of stuff, but I mean I've been told to do it, but I ain't gonna do it yet. If I do it, so.
Got it.
I don't even call myself a comedian yet. Like it's a lot of pressure with that. So.
Got
it. Yeah,
I'm just on the internet and I tell jokes.
yeah. I just say some funny shit. I mean, a lot of people like me, man. It's a lot of regular people be the funniest motherfuckers, and regular life is the funniest shit. Like it don't be nothing. If anything I do, I just exaggerate shit.
That's a fact.
That's it for me.
Any closing comments, questions, Edom?
No, that's about it. Everybody, go check this man out, bro. Please, it's really funny. Like, really funny.
I appreciate it.
For sure, for sure. So, man, Ace Vane, thank you very much for joining us this evening. I learned a lot. Definitely enjoy having this conversation. For those listening, if you could give your socials and like where people could find you for our audience members.
Oh yeah, anywhere you go, if you type in ACEVANE, Ace Vane, you gonna find me. Like it's on almost every social media, even the ones I don't be on like that because I barely use my Snapchat. But I'm on everything. You can Google it and you can find everything you want to find out about me, as far as if you're looking just for the funny stuff, if you're looking for the music, whatever you're looking for, if you Google it, you can find it. Any social media you on, just follow me there, and that's it. It's real easy to find me.
All right, for sure, for sure. So again, thank you very much for joining us this evening. For our audience members, again, make sure that you're tuning in on all platforms. You're following us on our YouTube channel, Everybody Eats Podcast, Instagram, everybodyeats.pod, Twitter, EBEpod. Make sure you're blessing us with a follow. On our YouTube, make sure you like, subscribe, share. We're definitely growing out our YouTube channel, so we don't want to miss out. Definitely want to be plugged in. Again, shout outs to Sosa for the Everybody Eats gear. More on the way, so you know I'm looking to flex on y'all, you know, with this stuff, so for sure. And on that note, stay safe, stay healthy, wash your hands. See you guys.
That's it.